All right, peace. Let's talk some boxing. All right, man. I just been sitting back listening to different perspectives on the debacle between Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Even though Terrence Bud Crawford he has a fight coming on later on today. It's 2 o'clock a.m. in the morning out here in Chicago, so he's going to be fighting. Sometime later on tonight. you know. But this is what happens when a boxing organization is like a beluga whale. And if you know something about a beluga whale, you know, they can eat. You know what I'm saying? And this is what happened when you try to eat up the sport and you don't want nobody else to be able to eat just as well. And this is what PBC was doing. PBC was trying to swallow up everybody else so that everybody else, the other folks, won't be able to eat just as well. And a lot of us didn't really see it in the beginning, but eventually it came back and it bit them in the behind. And see, another thing too, they tried to do the same thing with Crawford. See, PBC's issue is this. This is their motto. If you don't sign with us, we're not going to fight you. And if you try to come against us in the media, we're going to starve you out. We're going to make it very hard for you to be able to coexist next to us in the boxing hemisphere. And this is what they tried to do with Terrence Bud Crawford. But I commend the brother. It's because Terrence Bud Crawford, he doesn't really talk a lot, but a lot of times that's good too, is because that's what's wrong with a lot of us. We talk too much and we don't stand on principles, or we don't stand on what we say. Terrence Bud Crawford said this in the beginning. I really don't need Spence to become a Hall of Famer or to be considered one of the best boxers to put on the gloves. And that's a true statement. It's because, like I've been saying before, he's been winning championships way before Spence even won his first championship. A lot of people say, well, he hasn't fought a fighter that is as good as Spence. And to a certain degree, that's a good argument. But Terrence Bud Crawford beat all the champions that stood before him. He beat every last one of them. And you can't erase that out of the books. He unified the 140-pound division. He beat I forgot the guy's name. I always mess his name up from London. He beat him. That's when he won his first title. He unified the 140-pound division, moved up to 147 pounds. He beat the guy that beat Manny Pacquiao, you know, and he defended his title. I believe, this is the seventh title defense that he's about to make at 147 pounds. And I hope, because anything can happen in boxing, but I hope that he's successful. And one of the reasons why I want him to be so successful is so he can beat the machine. See, and what is the machine? the machine that's standing before us today is the PBC machine. And a lot of us sitting around here talking about, see, because this is what Blue Blood, this is what the LDBC 78 Sports and all them, see, they had us fooled. See, they had us sitting around here talking about all this black stuff. See, and there's nothing wrong with so-called black folks, us coming together and doing things together. But first of all, you got to have unity. See, and we don't have that amongst each other. And see, they got the young man to leave his promoter. You know, he had some rumblings with his promoter and stuff like that. He left his promoter and he wanted to do a business venture with a black company. And here it is. Look what the black company did to him. They tried. They gave him a lowball number. Now this is two black people doing business with each other. They didn't respect the fact that he was his own promoter, and they told him. They said, "Look, since you don't want to be a part of our organization, so we can run over what you doing, we're gonna give your behind 30%. You're gonna take it or leave it." And the reason why he took the 30% is because he wants, from a competitive standpoint of view, he wants to beat Errol Spence Jr. or at least die trying. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be able to utilize his talents and beat Errol Spence Jr. They had Errol Spence last defense, I believe, was around April. They had from April all the way up until October to make this fight. They didn't do it. It's because they never really had any intentions to do it. He called they bluff uh, on a multiple occasions. And one of the major bluffs that he called for them is that they thought that he was not going to take the 70-30 split, because he said it himself. At first he said, I'm not going to do it. But he looked at the bigger picture, and he put his ego to the side, because it's a lot of things going around saying that he got a big ego, he's hard to work with. So he put everything to the side, and he agreed to all their demands. And do you know, they still didn't make the fight, all because the man said that he wanted transparency, him being his own promoter, semi promoter, right, at the time, because now he's with uh what's that, Black Fight Prime, if I'm pronouncing it right. But he's with a new promotional some promotional people that's going to put money behind him, right? He wanted to see how the money is being distributed, and he can do that is because he's his own promoter. He has a right as a promoter to see what's going on with the money. And you know what happened? A lot of these so-called black fans that's supposed to be so pro-black, they was against him doing this. That's not his lane. He shouldn't. Why does he have to see what Al Heyman is doing with the money? This is the stupidity of our people. See, we think just because Al Heyman is a so-called black man that that he he's going to do everything in his power not to cheat this man. He already cheated him. It's because really the fight should be 50-50. It should be 50-50 based upon the achievements that this young guy had already made. He had already achieved a lot of the things that Errol Spence is trying to achieve. Well, he did it in 140. I don't give a damn where he did it at. He is a 3 division world champion. He has achieved more in his career than Errol Spence has ever done. He has sat on the throne of the pound for pound list almost 10 years. And you gonna lowball this man and give him 30%. But this is black folks though. This is the stupidity of our people. And I commend the brother is because he said, look, I've been waiting for this fight for the past 4 years. It's finna be almost 5 years that I didn't get to fight this guy. You had every since April to sit down and put this fight together. Errol Spence Jr. could have been out here campaigning for the fight. He could have got on his promoters and said, look, whatever you need to pay this guy so we can make this fight happen. He could have did it. He didn't do it. He did not do it. You know why? It's because, and it's just me. I don't have no hatred towards Errol Spence. I wish him all the best. But Errol Spence don't want this fight either. He don't want this fight. Because if he really wanted this fight, if he really wanted to fight TBC, he would have did everything in his power to make this fight. Just like TBC been on, he's on every airwave talking about this fight. He could have been doing the same thing because according to him, he's the A side of the spectrum. So whatever he says, it got to be what? It got to be gold. See, people got to listen to what he's talking about because why? He's the A side. He was not doing it. He was not campaigning to make this fight happen because he didn't want to do it. And see, it's time for us. Uh, it's time for us. We have to start criticizing him for this. We got to stop sitting around here talking about Errol Spence. He wants to fight. No, the heck he did. He don't want it. It's because if he wanted to fight, he would have been doing the same campaigning as Bud Crawford. He didn't do it. You know why they don't want to do it? It's because they look at this man as a threat. What they're trying to do is, we've been watching boxing for years. When you have an individual that's a threat to another fighter, what they do is they try to age these fighters out. They try to see now look at this. Let's say that he fight Varisian, excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name right. Let's say for instance, Terrence Bud Crawford fight this guy later on today. Bud Crawford wins the fight, but he barely wins the fight. He don't look good. Now watch these jokers come up in here and then they try to make the fight. It's because now they see a chink in his armor. This is what these fighters are doing today. And sad to say, it's a lot of our people that's doing it today too. These so-called great champions that's gonna fight everybody. They're not fighting like they used to fight in the 80s, the 70s, the 90s and things of this. They're not fighting like that no more. They're not fighters. They just athletes. You know what I'm saying? Good athletes, but they athletes nonetheless. Terrence Bud Crawford is a fighter. See, he lives a fighter's life, always in the gym. See, always training. He has a mentality of a fighter, and he got the most hate from not Caucasians. He got hate from his own people. This how stupid our people is. Errol Spence, remarkable talent, but he don't take boxing serious. He doesn't take boxing serious like that. He just really started back being serious about boxing. He worried about being in videos with all these different rappers and all this type of stuff, and then almost got himself killed. See, because I hope he overcame it, but he has a drinking problem. See, but you know what our people is. This is wrong with our people. We love the glitz and glow. We love the glitz and gold. See, we love how Errol Spence put on his sweater and he all his chains is tight on his neck. You know what I'm saying? That's what we love. See, we love the outside appearance, but we not looking at the dog inside. See, Crawford is a dog. See, he's a dog, and this is why I'ma support him, win, lose. I don't care if he lose tomorrow. I'ma still support him because see, I know what type of man he is. See? Because we sitting here looking at it. The man come to work on time every day. See? He come to work on time every day. He gonna beat the boss there. He ready to go. And here it is, PBC and all these folks they gonna lowball him like that. It's just like if you working a job. Here it is, you know the job left, right, from left to right. And here it is when it's time to get a raise. Instead of you giving me $1 raise, you're gonna give me what? You're gonna give me 25 cents. And this is why PBC is failing. They failing right before our eyes. This is why they got to team up with Eddie Hearn and them. It's because they don't have no money. They don't have no money. It's because Al Heyman, and look, let's be real. Them folks don't, they ain't got that. That's not a black company. The Caucasian is running the company behind the scenes. Let's be real here. See, where did they have to go get the money when uh what's his face, the ex heavyweight champion, um damn, I'm starting to forget names now. Um, from London, the black boy from London. He said that if he got mad because they kept asking him for the fight with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua got mad because they kept asking for the fight with Deontay Wilder. He said, "Look, y'all give me $50 million right now. I'll fight him tomorrow." Where did Al Heyman and them went to go get that money? Part of the money. They went to Sherry Finkel. So Sherry Finkel and a lot of these Europeans behind the scenes, they the ones running the show. See, but we get caught up in all this hoopla. The black man ain't nothing but the face of the business. The white man is behind the scenes running the business. But we sitting around here talking about all this black nonsense. You know, and here it is, the guy left his promoter, and then you still gonna give him a low ball number. Stupidity. This is why it's failing. And now when you look at them, all those fights that was back in the day when they used to give you those bogus undercards. Look at Tank Davis undercard now. They got everybody on there. They got Demetrius Andrade. They got they got everybody. Young talent, older talent. They putting it all together. Why they doing it? It's because they see their company falling. They could have been did this. But because they don't have the respect for the boxing fans, this is why they was bull crapping the people for a long time. Yeah, they'll give you some good fights here and there. You know, you'll see Sean Porter against Keith Thurman. You're gonna see Danny Garcia against Sean Porter. Yeah, but what about the undercards? The undercards was garbage. You know what I'm saying? Why is that? It's because they didn't care about the fans. That's why that is. See? So I commend Bud Crawford and what he did. A lot of the fans sit up here and talk about, well, why didn't he sit around here and wait for the why is he continuing to wait? Why? They could have set they had all the way from April when Errol Spence called him out and said, I'm coming to get those belts, them belts, that WBO belt MF. See, they could have sat down 2 or 3 months and made this fight happen. They didn't do it because really they didn't want it. If Errol Spence could have just moved on to 154 pounds without being pressured to fight this guy, he would have did it. See, the difference between those guys, Bud is willing to put everything on the line in order to beat this guy. And it's not a guarantee that he's going to beat Spence. That to me, it's a 50-50 fight. But I'm rolling with Bud because I think that Bud has all the tools in the world to beat this guy. And they see this. This is why they don't want him to fight him. Floyd Mayweather said this when Tank Davis fought the pit bull. We not finna do no business with no other companies. We not doing this. We got all the fighters over here in PBC. Tank Davis gonna fight these guys over here. This is what he said. So what is he telling the people? If y'all don't want to sign with PBC, we're not fighting you. Ain't nobody criticized them. Ain't nobody criticized him yet. He came out and said this during the so-called negotiations, which I don't even think it was a negotiation. They gave Bud a demand and he didn't accept it. They said, look, go kick rocks, nigga. That's what they told him. Floyd Mayweather came out and said, look, this fight ain't happening. If I don't come out and say that this fight is not gonna happen, no, he said, if I don't come out and say that the fight is happening, it ain't happening. It's because I got the same man as who? Al Heyman. See, I'm Al Heyman Jr. How the fight gonna happen and I'm not out here promoting it? This is my company. That's what he said. Ain't nobody said boo to him. So they already knew from the beginning that this is a future fight. Bud is 35 years old. So what are they talking about? They're trying to age this man out. If I was Bud and let's say I hit 30, 36 or 37, I'm not fighting no Errol Spence. You should have fought me when I was in my prime. This is why I like Bud. Bud take his own destiny in his own hand. Most of these so-called black people that talk all this nonsense about this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, they ain't gonna take their destiny in their own hand. They ain't got enough balls to do it. See, they ain't got enough balls and they ain't got enough willpower to stand on what they say. This is why I got the utmost respect for this brother, is because why? He ain't perfect. He mean what he mean, and he mean what he say. See, he's willing to walk away from all this money because because y'all don't want to make the fight. Y'all ain't looking out for people how y'all should look out for them. So what did he do? He made a boss move on the chessboard. He went over there and fought this guy that we never even really heard of. He's ranked number 10. I never even heard of this guy. Right? We don't even see him on television. Black Prime said they'll give him $10 million to face Varisian. Oh, sign me up. Cause these cats over here, they don't know what they doing. See? They want to give me the bare minimum just to fight this guy. See? And I accepted the bare minimum. And they still ain't making a fight. So what we finna do is, until they get themselves together, We finna roll over here with Black Prime. Now I got some people that got a lot of money. It's rumored that it may be Jay-Z or who. It don't matter. We got people that's gonna put all this money behind this fight. Me as a fighter, and we finna roll with them. That's what we finna do. And the next time we sit at the table, at the negotiation table, you gonna have to fork out some money. See, they gonna have to fork out some money, or this fight is not gonna happen. And you know what? I don't have a problem with it. It's because you ain't finna lowball me and give me a bogus number just because you sitting up here trying to promote this guy as the A fighter. See, and here it is. I done accomplished more than this guy. I'm on the same page as him. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, peace. I'm out.